Color and shade matching. So how we see color? We have physical component and biological component. When a light falls on an object, some gets absorbed while some gets reflected. The reflected light is what we see as color. So the biology of it, in eyes, the rods and cones plays an important role. Then the signals are relate to the brain, where the brain processes and tells what the color we are seeing. So in Hindu mythology, we say that the sun god usually travels in 7 horses, which signifies white light, which is split into 7 colors. Okay, when a white light is passed through a glass prism, it splits into 7 colors. Okay, so we have primary colors R, G and B, that is red, green and blue. And addition of these colors gives you the secondary colors. Okay, these are secondary colors. So these are subtractive colors. Additive and subtractive colors are basic, we should know. So visible spectrum, that is your VIBGR, is lying between your non-ionizing and ionizing radiation. So ionizing radiation are X-rays, while non-ionizing are your the radiation that has been used for your TV remote, cell phones. Okay. Now, according to Grassmann, our eye can distinguish only differences in only 3 parameters of color. So, what are those 3 parameters? Dominant wavelength, luminous reflectance, and excitation purity. Let me explain what these things are. So, dominant wavelength is called as hue. Hue, that is, hue is nothing but the basic color of an object. While luminous reflectance is value, that is, the lightness or darkness of an object. Excitation purity is degree of saturation of a particular hue. Now, let me show this example. Now, let's see, this is from lightness to darkness, and this is your value, okay, from light to dark, okay. Then, what's a hue? Hue is a basic color. The basic color here is green, okay. Now, you have light green and you have dark green. So, depending upon the degree of saturation of green, it is light or dark. That is called as chroma. Okay, this image, many of us would have come across this image. For me, it looks like, the first one looks like a white and a kind of a gold, and here it is gray and green. While for some, it may look like the black with blue, and here it is like pink color. So they told it was because of right and left brain dominance. While some researchers have found that this occurs because of the background color, how your brain is going to interpret your background color. So the color we see of this dress is actually depending upon the background color that our brain processes. Okay, it depends upon the background color. Okay, so this images tells about the importance of background. Okay. So measurement of color. So if you are going to study about a particular color, then you should know about a X, Y, Z. That is, it is amount of 3 primary colors which is required to give a particular color. So amount of red, amount of green, and amount of blue that is required to produce a particular color. That is your X, Y, Z values. Now this is CIE values. Okay, in this graph, let us see about the CIE, that is Commission Internationale Éclairage. Okay, so now here A is going to be your standard light source. Okay, then here you have green, this is your hue. Okay, that is dominant wavelength, and here we are choosing yellow as a dominant wavelength. Okay, this is C. If you need to know about the excitation purity at a point B, then this is a formula, AB divided by AC. Okay, Commission Internationale d'Éclairage. Okay. So this is the CIE lab color space. So this is from lightness to darkness, and here you have the hue, that is green, red, and positive B is yellow, and minus B is blue. And here you can see the degree of saturation of a particular color. So now let us consider these two images. Okay, let's consider these two apples. If you want to know about the difference between the color or difference in color between these two apples, then this is a formula. Delta E is a formula which we have to use. Okay. So a value of delta E of 3.3 is considered perceptible clinically. So if we want to know about a color difference between two objects, at least it must be around 3.3 to detect it clinically. So this is an important formula that we should know. Then this is Munsell color system. So here white to black, this is a value, and blue, green, and these are your hue, and this is your chroma. So now let us consider this example. In childhood, you can see that enamel has a high value, while in adulthood it turns to medium value. In low age, it is turning to low value. So this is also an important property. Extremely rough surface appears lighter than a smooth surface of the same material. So this plays an important role while we are going to do a kind of a composite restoration. The finishing and polishing is much important. This is called as metamerism. The object which appears to be color matched at one light source will appear different at another light source. And this is why they usually recommend us to do color shade matching in two different places. Okay. So this is about the transparency. That A is transparent, B is translucent, and C is opaque. So this translucency and opacity usually depends upon the thickness of the object. Okay. So here in teeth, the translucency usually depends upon the degree of calcification and the homogeneity of enamel. Okay. Here the amount of hydration and the dehydration also plays an important role in color perception in shade selection. Therefore, we usually have to do the shade selection before you are going to dry the tooth or before you are going to apply a rubber dam. And this is called as opalescence. So under transmitted light it appears orange, and under reflected light it appears blue. This is the fluorescence property. So our enamel shows your fluorescence property, that is fluorescence, the emission of luminous energy by material when a light beam is shown on it. The wavelength of emitted light is usually longer than that of the exciting radiation. That is, it receives lesser wavelength and then it emits a light of a higher wavelength, and because of it fluorescence occurs. This is another example of a composite material showing fluorescence. So this is also a basic terminology which we should know, that is refractive index. So here it is a ratio of the velocity of the light in a vacuum or air. So this is a velocity of the light in air to its velocity in a medium. You can see the shift. Okay, this change, it is refractive index. For enamel, the refractive index is around 1.65. So contrast ratio, translucency parameter, and optical constants are some of the technical parts which we should learn. So now let us come to dental shade guides. So this is Vita Classical Shade Guide. You have two parts in it. Okay, this is Vita Classical Shade Guide in A to D arrangement, and this is in value scale arrangement. Value scale arrangement is usually from light to dark. That is B1 to C4. So B1 is a lightest shade. When compared even to your A1, B1 is going to be light. So now let us see about the A to D arrangement. So what does A to D stand for? A to D stands for the hue. that is the color. A stands for your red, and B is your yellow, C is your gray, and D is reddish gray. So red followed by yellow, then you have gray and reddish gray. So A is going to be a hue, and the degree of saturation is mentioned in number, that is chroma. 1, 2, 3 is the degree of saturation. I hope you understand this. Now let us discuss about Vita 3D Master. In Vita 3D Master, we have 5 groups based upon the value. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We have 5 divisions. Then we have chroma variation. This is vertical chroma variation ranging from 1, 2 and 3, which are present within each group. So every group have an vertical chroma variation. While the horizontal hue variation, that is horizontal hue variation, L, M and R are present only within groups 2, 3 and 4. So you have this is 2, 3 and 4. Only within these 3 groups you can see the horizontal hue variation, that is L, M and R. So L stands for yellow, M stands for medium and R stands for red. We also have Vita bleach guide, okay, for bleaching, for measurement of shade in bleach teeth. So shade matching condition. So we can use daylight like D65, D55 or similar lamps. The immediate surrounding should be neutral gaze so that the eyes cannot be the eyes will not be strained. So guidelines for shade matching. So the tooth must be cleaned, and the patient should not wear any kind of lipstick that could distract eye. So we should not wear any kind of tinted glass. Then our eyes should be aligned at the same level as that of the teeth, and your viewing light should be at an angle of 45 degree to the tooth, and a shade matching distance can be 25 to 35 centimeter. Make sure you do not take more than 5 seconds to select a shade, so in order to avoid your eye fatigue. So the number of potential matches should be reduced as quickly as possible. So we also have a color matching instrument. So based upon spectrophotometer. Okay, we have SpectroShade Micro and Vita EC Shade Compact and Crystalline. Okay, so they possess their own light software, and some have their positioning guide system also. So importance of communicating the color to lab is very important for a successful restoration. So the importance of the so we have to inform them about the shade along with a reference photography. So this is an example of how the shade matching is done. So whenever possible, you should place a tab in the same plane as that of the teeth. So a better understanding of the physical and the physiological process involved in human color vision, color theory and colorimetry should enhance an appreciation for the challenges associated with tooth shade selection. Thank you.